Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the latest episode, and wow, what an emotional roller coaster it was. Do you remember that kid you played with when you were little? The one whose name you never even knew? For Liuyu, Yuru. That kid was Luo. They met as children, but Luo Zisheng's true identity was a secret he couldn't share. Not long after, a terrible fire destroyed the Luo family, leaving him as the sole survivor. A young boy forced to beg on the streets. When Liu Jiru saw him again, dressed in rags, she didn't look away or show any disgust. That simple act of kindness planted a seed in his heart that would last a lifetime. Years later, the political landscape is a chessboard, and Luo Zisheng is a master player.
He advises a man named Wang Shangquan, revealing a shocking secret. The Liang King is planning a rebellion.
He lays out a brilliant strategy. If Wang Shangquan can secure complete control of Yangzhou, he'll be seen as a loyal subject when the dust settles. After the Liang King's inevitable downfall, the military power of other regions will be crippled. It won't matter who takes the eastern capital. Wang Shangquan with his solid power base will be untouchable. It's a ruthless game of power, and Luo Zisheng seems to have no room for sentiment. As these political storms gather, a much quieter event approaches.
Liu Yuru's birthday.
Back at her home, her mother, Su Wan, has already prepared a gift. It's a bittersweet moment, as it seems only her mother ever remembers her special day. This birthday, however, is set against a backdrop of danger. Luo Zisheng's original plan was cold and calculated. Liu Yuru and her husband Gu Jiusi's family be destroyed in the coming chaos. But he can't stop the memories from flooding back. He remembers their childhood, her simple fascination with pebbles. He remembers wanting her to never forget him, promising to find her a whole collection of beautiful, colorful stones. The more he thinks about the girl who showed a little beggar kindness, the more he hesitates. Can he really let her perish? The cold-hearted strategist is at war with the boy who just wanted to give a girl some pretty rocks. On the day of her birthday, Liu Yuru expects the usual quiet loneliness she experienced in her own family. But this year is different. Her husband, Jiu Zusi, orchestrates a celebration that changes everything. The entire Jiu family household, from the servants to her in-laws, gathers to celebrate with her. She's overwhelmed with emotion. Her mother-in-law, Zhang and sister-in-law, Jiu Langhua, even present her with incredibly precious gifts, welcoming her not just as a daughter-in-law, but as one of their own. The surprises don't end there.
Jiu Zusi whisks her away for a day of fun she's never known.
They go to watch the thrilling spectacle of cut to ensure she has a good time and experiences the joy of winning. Jiu Jiusi secretly buys every single top-performing rooster in the arena beforehand. So when he encourages her to place a bet, her victory is a delightful foregone conclusion. He just wants to see her smile. As night falls, the sky explodes with brilliant fireworks, painting the darkness with light and color, just for her. Then, Jiu Jiusi takes her to an open field and patiently teaches her how to ride a horse, giving her a sense of freedom and confidence she's never felt before. This birthday isn't just a celebration. It's a declaration. Jiu Jiusi is showing her, through his actions, that she is cherished, that she belongs, and that her lonely days are over. While one man from her past wrestles with his conscience, the man in her present is building a future filled with light and laughter.
Just in time for her birthday.
The scene with them riding horses in the countryside was pure perfection. But then, things took a bittersweet turn. Liu Yuru started crying, worried that this birthday was so perfect, so over, that she'd never be satisfied with a simple bowl of noodles again. It's like she had a premonition that this happiness was fleeting, and those spectacular fireworks over Yangzhou City? A grand, romantic gesture. But mysteriously, no one knew who was behind them. It added this layer of intrigue to an already perfect day. But just as we were basking in the romance, the storm hit.
Wang Rong, that petty and arrogant guy, shows up with his men,
heading straight for the Jiu residence. This is where Jihu Langhua truly shines as the head of the family. He stands firm at the gate with his guards, a true protector. His instructions to Jiangrou were chilling but so strategic. Get the family to the ferry, and if he's not there in an hour, leave without him. It was a heart-wrenching moment of sacrifice. Jilangua brilliantly holds off Wang Rong, using his wits to buy precious time. But the situation escalates dramatically when Wang Shenquan arrives with even more soldiers. The peace of Yangzhou is completely shattered. The chaos spreads like wildfire. In a truly tragic turn, soldiers storm the Liu family home, and Lu Juan is tragically killed. The cruelty is just gut-wrenching. Amidst the horror, we see a flicker of humanity. Zhang War, desperate to save her child, pleads with Su Wan. And thankfully, Su Wan's kindness prevails, and she lets them onto her carriage. Then we have the absolute legend, Old Madam D. Liang. She doesn't hesitate for a second. Sword drawn, she and her guards march out to face the chaos head-on, trying to restore order. She is the definition of a warrior matriarch, and I was cheering her on. Meanwhile, Chunzun and Yang Wenchang rush to find Gu Jiusi. They know he needs to be aware of the catastrophe unfolding. Gu Jiusi, Eve, the devoted husband, chooses to stay by Liuyu side to protect her. Yang Wenchang, understanding the urgency, has to leave them to handle other critical matters. But the plot thickens even more when men sent by Luo Zisheng appear. Specifically for Liuyu, she receives a letter from him. And whatever was in it, it was urgent enough for her to follow them immediately. This leads us to the final, tense confrontation. Luo Zisheng reveals his hand. He knows everything, down to the exact number of ships the Jiu family has prepared for their escape. This confirms all of Liu Huru's suspicions about him. He's been pulling strings from the shadows all along. Then he makes his big move. His final offer. He asks Liu to betray the Jiu family, to abandon everything and everyone, and leave Yangzhou with him. He promises her a way out, a different life.
But our Liu is not one to be swayed.
Without a moment's hesitation, she gives him a firm, righteous refusal. She chooses loyalty. She chooses her family, and she chooses to face the storm with them. In the chaotic city of Yangzhou, Luo Zisheng declared that after this night, Jiu Jiusi would be no more.
Meanwhile, Lu Jiru received a message from Munan, believing Jiu Jiusi was already safely on a ship.
She rushed to the ferry, where all the boats were ready to cast off. Jiang Rou, her mother-in-law, spotted her and pulled her aboard. The first thing Liuyu asked was about her own mother, Su Wan. Jiang Rou explained that she had sent a carriage to the Liu residence to fetch Su Wan, but there was no sign of her. Even worse, Jiu Jiusi and his father, Jiu Langhua, were also missing. She soon learned the terrifying truth. Jiu Jiusi had gone back into the heart of the chaos to find his father. His fate was completely unknown. At that very moment, Jiu Langhua was attempting to negotiate with the ruthless Wang Shen. But Wang Shenquan wasn't just after the Jiu family's immense fortune. He demanded something more humiliating. He wanted Gulangua and every noble and merchant family in Yangzhou to kneel before him. Realizing that talks were futile,
Zhu Longhua knew what was coming. The negotiation devolved into a brutal, bloody battle.
Back at the ferry, Zheng Yuer arrived with her child, seeking refuge with Liuyu. But Liuyu still couldn't find her mother. Her aunt, Yu, delivered the devastating news. The Liu family had been destroyed. Her father, Lu Juan, was dead. And during the escape, the carriage carrying her mother, Su Wan, had plunged off a cliff. The news shattered Liuyu. Her world was collapsing around her. The time for departure could no longer be delayed. With a heavy heart, Zhang Rou gave the order to set sail.
Lu Yuru was inconsolable, weeping on the deck of the boat.
In a single night, she had lost her father. Her mother's fate was a tragic mystery, and her husband and father-in-law were trapped in a city of death. As the boat pulled away from the shore, Munan handed her a letter. It was a divorce decree! Written by Liuyu Jiusi. He had tried to set her free. Reading his words, her grief turned into a fiery resolve. She made a decision that shocked everyone. She would not run. She grabbed a small boat and began to row back to shore, determined to return to Yangzhou and save her husband. Meanwhile, Liuyu Jiusi had managed to find his father and, in a desperate move, took Wang Shanquan's son, Wang Rong, hostage. But Wang Shanquan was a monster. He coldly ordered his archers to shoot, not caring if his own son was in the line of fire. An arrow struck Zhu Langhua, wounding him badly. This act of pure cruelty pushed Zhu Jiusi and his father to the absolute edge of despair. Zhu Jiusi ordered his men to get his father to safety, while he turned to face Wang Shanquan's army alone, ready to fight to the death. Have you ever wondered how far someone would go for love and duty in a world turned upside down? Today, we're diving deep into one of the most heart-wrenching and pivotal moments in the story. The final battle for Yangzhou has reached its climax. Only Master Wang Shou and Liuyu Jiusi are left standing, fighting back-to-back against overwhelming odds. Just as they are about to be overrun, Liuyu arrives like a whirlwind. She smashes a wine jar into a nearby fire, creating a massive explosion that buys Liuyu Jiusi the precious seconds he needs to get on his horse. But this escape comes at a terrible cost. Wang Shou stays behind, a lone warrior holding back Wang Shanquan's entire army. He fights bravely, but he's outnumbered and tragically falls. With Yangzhou consumed by fire and chaos, Liuyu finds the wounded and unconscious Juju, She carries him to safety, hiding in Boss Wan's secret chamber. Meanwhile, far away, the Xian receives a secret letter and immediately races back towards the burning city, unaware of the full horror that awaits. When Zhu Jiusi finally wakes up, his first reaction isn't relief, but anger. He sees Liuyu and berates her for coming back, for putting herself in such grave danger. But Yuru stands her ground. Her arguments are sharp, logical, and filled with a fierce love that leaves Zhu Jiusi completely speechless. She wasn't going to abandon him. Not then. Not ever. Just as this emotional storm settles, another tidal wave of tragedy hits them. Boss Wan returns with devastating news. One good Sangkan in his cruel rampage has burned down every single one of the Jiyu family's shops. And in the ashes of a jewelry shop, they found a body. When Boss Wan presents the jade pendant found on the victim, Jiyu Guzi's world shatters. It's his father's. Zhu Langhua is dead. Consumed by grief and rage, Gu Jiusi vows revenge, ready to charge out and face Wang Shanquan himself. But it's Liuyu's voice that cuts through his fury. She roars his mother's name. Zheng Ro is still waiting for us. The reminder of his mother, alone and vulnerable, is enough to pull him back from the brink. In that moment, they are two souls bound by loss. He's lost both his parents, and she, her biological father. They are all each other has left. Wang Shanquan, furious that Liuyu Jiusi and Liuyu have vanished, orders a citywide manhunt. The noose is tightening. Knowing they can't stay hidden forever, Boss Wan leads the disguised couple to the Jiyu family's last secret escape route. But their escape is halted by more terrible news from the city. The government soldiers have arrested the entire Yang family, demanding they surrender Yang Wencheng. The threat is brutal. If he doesn't appear, his entire family will be executed. Faced with an impossible choice, Yang Wencheng chooses to sacrifice himself. He returns to face his fate. Zhu Jiusi learns that his friend is to be executed that very day. He knows he's powerless to stop it, but he can't let his friend die alone. Disguised, he makes his way to the execution ground. As a signal, he flashes a red ribbon. Yang Wencheng sees it, a final, silent farewell between friends. But he's not the only one who notices. The villainous Luo Zishang also spots the ribbon and immediately orders his men to search the crowd. The executioner's blade falls. Yang Wencheng is gone. Liuyu can't bear to watch, but Zhu Jiusi forces himself to witness every horrifying detail, burning the image into his memory. As soldiers swarm their location,
Boss Wan makes the ultimate sacrifice.
He uses his carriage as a decoy, drawing the soldiers away and buying just enough time for Gu Jiusi and Liuyu, hidden in a cabinet, to be carried to safety. But Boss Wan is caught and killed. Now, truly fugitives, the pair finally manage to rendezvous with their trusted ally, Chunzan. But even this small reunion brings more sorrow. Chunzan had gone to the family estate, only to find it empty. Except for the Xian, who had been away, the family has disappeared, their fate unknown. With every ally falling, every safe haven destroyed, and every hope seeming to fade, Gu Jiusi and Liuyu are left with nothing but each other, facing a world determined to crush them. Their journey from here is one of survival, resilience, and the burning quest for justice. What will they do next? How will they rebuild from the ashes of their lives? Thanks for watching. If you were moved by this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more breakdowns. Let me know in the comments what you think will happen to our heroes. See you next time!